My name is Officer Brian Metter. We have Officer Joe Cole and Sergeant Jarvier Bourne in attendance with us tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go through the stats first. We're going to review them. If you have a question, write it down. Please save it until the end. Once we finish the stats, then I'll go into a question and answer session. All right? So let's look at stats for January 2024. As always, we're going to compare to the previous month. So I'm going to start over here on our major incidents. Aggravated assaults, we were down by 21, 70 in December, only 49 in January. Burglary non-residents, again, stats going down, 20 December, 9 in January. Burglary to residents, 43 December, 33 in January. Drug arrest, 50 December, 25 in January. Justifiable homicides, we had 2 justifiable homicides in December, 1 in January. Larceny to a vehicle, we went up considerably. We went from 33 in December to 52. Murders, we only had the 1 in January. Motor vehicle thefts, down a little bit, 47 to 32. Unfortunately, rapes were even at 5. Robberies to commercial properties, we went up a little bit, 5 to 8. Robberies to persons, down a little bit, 16 to 12. Robberies to residents, again, we went down by half, 4 to 2. And weapons arrests, we dropped by 1, 13 to 12. Criminally assaulted shooting victims, we had 3 non-fatal shootings in January, 1 fatal shooting for a total of 4. Shots fired calls, informal reports of shots fired, we had 97. Case generated reports, we had 54 for a total of 151. And just to remind everybody with this new stat, what we're doing now, when we see the shots fired, well, we got our pointer working. Let's see if that works. Hey. When we have our shots fired calls, the informal reports were administratively closed. So that was a report of a sound of a gunshot, a shot spotter activation, whatever it may have been. The officers went out to the scene. They investigated the scene or the general area where the shots were reported, and they did not find any evidence at that time of any shots fired. Thank you, Chief. We're going to go over to the East region. Chief, you want a cookie?
No, thank you.
You sure?
I figured to be packed with your little invite today.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I think we probably scared most people off. It was that, it's a date comment. Looking at the East region, basically from the river north up to Notre Dame, Michigan over. Ag assaults, we were down to 14. Burglary non-residents down to 5. Burglary to residents, we jumped a little bit to 10. Drug arrests down to 6. 0 on the justifiable homicide. Larceny to vehicles, we went up a little bit to 12. Murders, our 1 murder that happened in January did happen over on the east side. Motor vehicle thefts down to 7. Unfortunately, a stat that grew, rape to 2. Another stat that grew, robbery commercial to 1. Robberies to persons down to 1 from 3. Robbery to residents, we stayed flat at 0. And then weapons arrest at 2. Breaking it down into the beats, or the shots fired call, I apologize, for the region. The red round will be a case generated. The blue, an informal report. So for shots fired in the East region in January, informal, we were down to 7. Report generated shots fired, we jumped up to 5 for a total of 12. You can see the cases generated. We're over here by the hospital area, around Corby. Again, over on around Corby Homes area. Then down here in the River Park area. We also had the one, looks like, yeah, down around the corner from Howard Park. I believe that was the that Kelly's Pub, around that area? I think it was the one shooting around Kelly's Pub. So let's look at 27, which is the downtown beat. An ag assault, drug arrest. We unfortunately did have a reported rape off of Taylor. Looks like we had an MVT, an informal shots fired, vehicle larceny, and burglary non-residence. I believe that one was to, yeah, that's the one that Danny made that's already been solved. Beat 9, that's down by the River Howard Park area. Again, we had an ag assault, some shots fired calls, a couple ag assaults down here around the old Y area, Kelly's Pub and the old Y. Shots fired in MBT, and then some burglary residents up around, looks like probably Madison, Cedar area. Beat 10, which is the beat that just skirts the south side of Notre Dame. So up there towards the top, off the North Shore area, we had the vehicle larceny, had another one over here close to Leaper, around the Foster area. We did have those burglary to residents, that little cluster over here and then over there. Burglary non-residents, and then the drug arrest. Beat 11, couple drug arrests, a shots fired, case generated, robbery commercial, and another vehicle larceny, a couple burglary to residents. Beat 12, the River Park area. We had that one weapons arrest, a few ag assaults, motor vehicle thefts, burglary to our residents, some shots fired calls down around the Mishawaka Avenue area, string of vehicle larcenies. Moving on to the south of the river, aggravated assault, same at 16. Burglary non-residents dropped down to 2. Burglary residents dropped from 17 to 8. Drug arrests, 16 to 8. Justifiable homicides at 0. We had an increase in vehicle larcenies. There were 0 murders on the southeast side. Jumped in motor vehicle theft, 12 to 16. Unfortunately, rape did jump in this section as well, or this region as well. We went from 2 to 3. Our commercial robberies, 0. Robbery to person, 7 to 4. Robbery to resident, stayed the same at 1. And weapons arrest increased to 5. Shots fired calls. For the month of January, we had 23 informal reports, 15 formal reports for a grand total of 38, which is down from 43 in December. And you can see the clusters here of where most of those occurred. So bringing it down to the beat area, 13th beat, just south of the river here, around Ivy Tech. You can see our cluster of activity right around the Haney Fellows area. We had a string of aggravated assaults. We had report-generated shots fired over here. Looks like informal shots fired where evidence wasn't found, couple MVTs, a burglary to a residence, a drug arrest. 14's beat. 14, again, we had this little cluster around here off of South Michigan Street, around the Fox and Ewing area. We did have a drug arrest, a couple MVTs, informal shots fired reports. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 MVTs right there in that little section. We did have a couple ag assaults, couple MBTs over here towards the east. We also had a little string of vehicle larceny. 15's beat. Looks like we had some informal shots fired, robbery to a person. I'm sorry, that was a commercial robbery up over here. We did have a couple MVTs, burglary to residence, drug arrest, burglary non-residents. Down here, vehicle larceny around the Irish Hills area. 16's beat, Ireland South. The only reported activity was right here off the Ireland corridor. We had a vehicle larceny over here. That's around the Menards area. The cleaners there, car lot, and then we had the aggravated assault. Jumping over 25. We had a little cluster over here up our Kendall, our Kendall, Taylor, Catalpa area. Had some confirmed shots fired reports generated, some informal shots fired. We did have a weapons arrest down here off of Kimball. Some vehicle larcenies, couple NBTs, burglary residence, some drug arrest over here, couple ag assaults, another weapons arrest over here off of Grant. West region. So let's look at the west. Ag assaults down 34 to 19. Burglary non-residents down 10 to 2. Burglary residents down 20 to 15. Drug arrest down 26 to 11. Justifiable homicide 2 to 1. Vehicle larcenies jumped a little bit to 25. No murders happened in the west region in January. Motor vehicle theft cut in half to 9. No rapes reported. We jumped in commercial robberies to 7. Robberies to person to 7. Robbery to residence down to 1, and the weapons arrest, 6 to 5. Shots fired calls, informal reports. We jumped a little bit, 60 to 67. Generated reports, 32 to 34, for a total of 101. So we went up in the west region from 92 to 101 shots fired. Let's take a look at beat 19. Had some ag assaults. Informal shots fired reports. Burglary to residence. That one little MBT off the Lincoln Way West. Here and here, we had reports generated once evidence was located. Jumping over to 20's beat, a cluster of shots fired over here off the O'Brien, Johnson, Huey area. These all generated reports. These were the informal code 1s. We did have some vehicle larcenies, a little cluster of ag assaults, a weapons arrest over here off of Beale. It looks like one off of Kenyon as well. Burglary to a residence. And then we had drug arrest. 21's beat. We had quite a few informal reports of shots fired. Look over here in the Sherman, Allen, Cleveland area, the 1100 block of Cleveland. Up here along Portage, we did have a case generated. We also had an aggravated assault, some vehicle larcenies, aggravated assault down here as well, right off of Scott on Portage, motor vehicle theft, towards the downtown, informal report of shots fired. We also had these burglaries to residents. Up here off of Yukon, we had robbery to a person. 22's beat, the northernmost beat. All the way out here on the other side of the bypass, we did have a vehicle larceny off of Technology Drive. We did have a motor vehicle theft up north. Down here, just south of Cleveland, we had some shots fired confirmed, ag assault, motor vehicle theft. Shots fired confirmed, or I'm sorry, ag assault over there as well. 23's beat. Couple shots fired reports down here off of Maple. Looks like we had a cluster of informal over here around the LaPorte area. One right there at LaPorte and Chapin. Then up here, looks like, what is that? LaPorte and Colfax. Couple ag assaults off of Walnut there. Informal shots fired over by Orange. Robbery to a residence. Some vehicle larceny, and then a weapons arrest. 24's beat. A lot of activity right here at 24. Clustered around the Ardmore Trail. Here's our Lincoln Way West coming through there. South here on Fremont, drug arrest, some informal shots fired, an ag assault with a weapons arrest. Drug arrest right off the Lincoln Way. Robbery to a person as well. Robbery or burglary residence in the Curtis Circle area. Robbery commercial right off of Lincoln Way West. Then you jump north, add a little bit of vehicle larcenies up north off Gagnon. 26 is beat, southwest side. Had a little activity over here. We had a confirmed shots fired around the 600, 500 block of Chicago. Had some, an ag assault as well. Did some informal shots fired. Couple vehicle larcenies. We did have a weapons arrest over there as well. Couple drug arrests off of Western. Some confirmed shots fired up here off of Concord. Vehicle larceny. And then a robbery, looks like to a person up off of Packard. Couple informal shots fired, Sample Mayflower area. 28th beat. Had a couple commercial robberies. We did have a weapons arrest over here. Looks like, what is that, Westview and Western. Had an NBT or two. Quite a few informal reports here off of Ford of shots fired. Robbery to a residence. And that concludes our stats for the month of January. As always, the main line to the Community Resource Office goes directly to Sergeant Bourne. That is our email, South Bend PD Outreach. That goes to all of us. Joe's contact information for the west side, my contact information for the east side.